All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Tanvi Taneja. The headlines. Third phase of municipal elections underway in Jammu and Kashmir. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman calls upon French defence industry to expand their manufacturing under the Make in India initiative. Government assures country not to face any internet shutdown in view of reports of global outage. India elected to United Nations Human Rights Council, securing maximum votes. Met Office warns very heavy rainfall in Gangetic West Bengal under the influence of cyclonic storm Titli. In sports, West Indies to resume their first innings with an overnight score of 295 for 7 against India in Hyderabad Test. And young shooting sensation Manu Bhaker becomes the second Indian to win 2 medals at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires. In Jammu and Kashmir, the third phase of municipal elections began this morning in Jammu Division. Polling, which started at 6 a.m., will conclude till 4 in the evening in 4 municipal committees of Samba, Vijaypur, Ramgarh and Badi Brahmana in Samba district. More from our correspondent.
A total of 242 candidates are in the fray for 56 wards of Samba district, which include 84 female candidates. Total number of voters are 31,818, which include 15,510 female voters. There are 19 hypersensitive, 6 sensitive and 32 normal polling booths. Observers and nodal officers have been appointed to ensure free and fair election. With polling in Samba, the urban local body polling in 10 districts of Jammu division will come to an end. R.K. Rana for AIR News from Jammu.
Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman held wide-ranging talks with her French counterpart Florence Parly in Paris yesterday. The talks were held under the framework of the annual Indo-French Defence Ministerial Dialogue. An official statement said the two leaders comprehensively reviewed the entire gamut of the bilateral defence cooperation, which is a key pillar of the India-France strategic partnership. In her interaction with the top leaders of the French defence industry, Sitharaman urged them to undertake and expand their manufacturing in India under the Make in India initiative. Mrs. Sitharaman visited a production facility of French aerospace Dassault Aviation near Paris, where the Rafale jets are being manufactured. Official sources said during her visit to the plant in Argenteuil yesterday, Mrs. Sitharaman spoke to officials of the Dassault Aviation, the makers of Rafale, and took stock of the progress in production of the fighter jets, whose delivery to India will begin in September next year. Mumbai's special NIA court has ordered attachment of 4 properties belonging to absconding Islamic preacher Zakir Naik. During a hearing, the court accepted the National Investigation Agency's plea that Naik was trying to sell these properties since his funding from various sources has been stopped. Advocate Anand Sukhdev, who appeared for the NIA, told the court that the accused obtained citizenship in several foreign nations and was trying to raise money by selling these Madgaon properties. Charged under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act 2 years ago, Naik was declared a proclaimed offender in June last year. Naik is accused of having incited many persons to take up terror activities and promoting enmity between different religious groups in India through his public speeches and lectures. A top government cybersecurity official has said that India will not face any internet shutdown, quashing fears of an internet blackout in the country amid reports of a global outage. Speaking to media in New Delhi, National Cybersecurity Coordinator Gulshan Rai yesterday said all arrangements are in place and there will be no internet shutdown in India as is being circulated in the media. The Russia Today had earlier reported that internet users across the globe may experience widespread network failures due to routine maintenance of key domain servers over the next 48 hours. India has been elected to the United Nations Human Rights Council with highest votes among all candidates. It secured 188 votes last night in the Asia-Pacific category for a period of 3 years beginning January 1, 2019. Following the election, India's permanent representative to the UN, Syed Akbaruddin, said that India's win with the highest number of votes reflects the country's standing in the International Committee of Nations. We have a report.
The 18 new members were elected by absolute majority through a secret ballot. India got the highest number of votes among all 18 countries in the 5 regional categories. In the Asia-Pacific category, India got 188 votes, followed by Fiji with 187 and Bangladesh with 178 votes. India had previously been elected to the Geneva-based Human Rights Council from 2011-2014 and 2014-2017. Created by the Assembly in March 2006 as the principal United Nations body dealing with human rights, the Human Rights Council comprises 47 elected member states. Swati Rakheja, News Desk.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Also, you can log on to our website newsonair.nic.in. The Meteorological Department has warned of heavy to very heavy rainfall in the Gangetic West Bengal today as the cyclonic storm Titli has weakened and moved towards northeast. The storm system is very likely to further lose steam and turn into a depression as it moves through Odisha and enters the Gangetic West Bengal. The department said it is however likely to cause heavy to very heavy rain in the Gangetic West Bengal, East and West Midnapore, Jhargram, East Bardhaman, Howrah and Hooghly districts to be affected the most. Fishermen have been advised not to venture into the sea along and off the coasts of West Bengal and Odisha, deep sea areas of North and Central Bay of Bengal today, also owing to rough to very rough sea condition. We spoke to DG, India Meteorological Department, Dr. KJ Ramesh.
अभी जो है तितली बहुत वीक हो गया है, डिप्रेशन के रूप में है। बारिश थोड़ा सा मिडनापुर, साउथ 24 परगना, नॉर्थ 24 परगना डिस्ट्रिक्ट जो है वेस्ट बंगाल के ऊपर बारिश होगी। उसके बाद उत्तर पूर्वी राज्य जो है त्रिपुरा, मिजोरम के ऊपर होने का संभावना है।
President Ramnath Kovind has said the Indian Police Service, IPS, is one of the pillars of national administrative system and defines the trust of common citizens in the country's police forces. Mr. Kovind was addressing the officer trainees of the 2017 batch of IPS officers at Rashtrapati Bhavan yesterday. He said being an IPS officer gives them privileges and powers that are actually tools to serve the people. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will visit Allahabad today to inaugurate the newly built annex of the High Court building. Besides Chief Justice of the High Court of Allahabad, Justice D.B. Bhosle, many honourable judges of the Supreme Court and various High Courts will also attend the function. The Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana scheme intends to provide free cooking gas connections to women who belong to the households. It is intended to benefit nearly 5 crore families, especially from rural and isolated areas. Here is a ground report from our Trichy correspondent.
The game-changing scheme was inaugurated by PM Narendra Modi himself at Balia, a district in Uttar Pradesh, where the average gas penetration is one among the lowest in the country. In Tamil Nadu, the number of beneficiaries under the scheme is expected to increase to 10 lakhs by the end of the current financial year. It is also notable that the scheme is making visible differences not only in rural households but also in the average households in big cities as well as many of the smaller towns. Srimati Uma, a beneficiary from the Nagapattinam district, speaks of her experience of the Ujjwala Yojana.
The new central government scheme has helped us in innumerable ways. It has freed us from the drudgery of time-consuming daily tasks like collecting and preparing firewood, preparing cow dung cakes for use as fuel for cooking, etc. The gas stove has enabled us to prepare anything from tea to snacks at short notice. It has made cooking an easy task that can be completed quickly, especially when children have to be sent to school and food has to be packed for them before we ourselves have to go out for work.
Ujjwala Yojana has truly changed the quality of life of ordinary women, right from big cities to tiny hamlets. This is Dr. K. Parameswaran for AR News from Trichy.
In news just in Jammu and Kashmir, one terrorist was killed in an encounter with security forces in Pulwama district this morning. The identity of the terrorist is yet to be established. According to police, arms and ammunition have been recovered. A fierce encounter ensued between terrorists and security forces in the wee hours following a tip-off about the presence of terrorists. The encounter has since ended. Trade ministers of 16-member Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP countries, including India and China, which are negotiating a mega trade deal, will hold today a crucial meeting in Singapore. An official said Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, C.R. Chaudhary, and senior officials from the ministry will attend the meet. The RCEP is a proposed free trade agreement being negotiated by 16 countries, including 10 ASEAN members and their 6 free trade agreement partners, India, China, Japan, South Korea, Australia and New Zealand since November 2012. In sports, in the second and final cricket test, West Indies will resume their first innings with an overnight score of 295 for 7 against India in Hyderabad today. Roston Chase on 98 and Devendra Bishu on 2 were at the crease when stumps were drawn. Earlier, electing to bat, the visitors lost wickets in quick succession. Kuldeep Yadav and Umesh Yadav took 3 wickets each and Ravichandran Ashwin 1. India lead the series 1-0 after winning the first test at Rajkot. And young shooting sensation Manu Bhaker became the second Indian after judoka Tababi Devi to win 2 medals at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires yesterday. Manu combined with Tajikistan's Behzan Faizulev in the 10-meter pistol mixed international, settled for a silver after losing the gold medal match 3-10 to Germany and Bulgarian pair of Vanessa Seeger and Kirill Kirov. India thus wrapped up their shooting campaign with 2 gold and 3 silver medals. In the under-18 men's hockey, the team moved to the semi-finals with a 4-2 win over Poland. India will face the winners of Argentina and Bangladesh in the last 4 match today. On the badminton courts, Lakshya Sen settled for a silver medal after he lost the men's singles summit clash against China's Li Shifeng in straight games, 15-21, 19-21. India has bagged 3 gold and 5 silver so far in the ongoing Youth Olympics. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Saira Mujtaba.
Thank you, Tanvi. The miraculous escape of 136 passengers on board an Air India flight to Dubai and the government setting a legal panel to probe the complaints emanating from the #MeToo campaign are the major stories reported across newspapers today. Miraculous escape for 136 as Air India Express Boeing flies with ripped belly for 4 hours, writes the Times of India, photographing the ruptured plane. Close shave for 136 people as Crofts belly grazes wall, headlines the DNA. Reporting on the #MeToo campaign gaining momentum in India, the Indian Express headlines, Government steps in. Legal panel will look into issues arising from the #MeToo, adding 4 retired judges amicus will be in committee. With more skeletons tumbling out of Bollywood's closet, the Statesman reports, directors Sajid Khan, Subhash Ghai, Love Ranjan face the heat. After Akshay cancels shoot, Sajid Khan steps down as director of Houseful 4, headlines the Indian Express. With Sabrimala temple slated to open next week for the monthly ritual, the Indian Express quotes a Malayalam movie actor as saying, "Tear in two, all women who enter Sabrimala." Stocks stage a forward march, writes the DNA. Indian markets log biggest one-day gain in 29 months, headlines the Economic Times. The DNA further quotes World Economic Forum chief as saying, India is clocking an impressive growth and will maintain it as long as it keeps churning out reforms. Fuel challenge remains, government explores long-term solutions, headlines the DNA. The paper adds, PM reviews ways to reduce import, up use of biofuels. With the minimum temperature dropping to 17.5 degrees Celsius in Delhi, the Hindustan Times writes, a warmer winter ahead due to El Nino, says India Meteorological Department. And finally, the Indian Express quoting a study suggests that social media may reduce the risk of depression for older people in pain as they socialize with family and friends online. And with that, it's back to you, Tanvi.
Thank you, Saira. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Third phase of municipal elections underway in Jammu and Kashmir. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman calls upon French defence industry to expand their manufacturing under the Make in India initiative. Government assures country not to face any internet shutdown in view of reports of global outage. India elected to United Nations Human Rights Council, securing maximum votes. Met Office warns very heavy rainfall in Gangetic West Bengal under the influence of cyclonic storm Titli. In sports, West Indies to resume their first innings with an overnight score of 295 for 7 against India in Hyderabad Test. And young shooting sensation Manu Bhaker becomes the second Indian to win 2 medals at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.